What's going on, guys? So as you can see, if you've watched my last video, it was a shot that I don't think many people have on their channel if they are a motorcycle based channel. Is a swing arm point of view, and it was really easy. I have this drone phone mount that one of my drones broke, and I traded the other one off for a bow, but I found some metal that would fit inside of the screw mount. That this would originally put the antenna of the controller through there and tighten it down, but I put this piece of metal in there and tightened it down against it and just liberally taped it on to my swing arm, and I just hooked my phone into this, which it was sketchy because this has some spring tension to it, but it's not a whole lot, and I was afraid that the vibrations that a two-stroke has would knock it off, or it would like vibrate out, which you can see in the video. It is a little bit vibrating at some points, but for the most part it did good. I think the video turned out pretty good. It was a little higher than I was wanting. I was wanting it to be kind of level with the swing arm, but it's like 2 inches higher. So you pretty much got the whole back of my foot instead of like in line with this. It's like up here. But still, yet you saw the shifter action. I thought that was pretty cool. That was kind of the thing I was going for. I was hoping that the video would be a little bit like smaller, where you could see more of the field in front of the camera, and be able to actually see the bike leaning a whole lot more. But the camera had a really close camera pointer, or whatever, the screen. It wasn't like a fisheye lens. It was a very zoomed out kind of picture, so you didn't really see. You could tell that I was leaning a little bit, but it wasn't as dramatic as I was wanting it to be, because on a dirt bike you lean pretty far to steer, and I think that would have been really cool to pick up on camera. Maybe I can get some more, like do more angles of riding. A lot of people will have a camera like on here or up in here somewhere, and I just want to be original and do something that not a lot of people have done. But I think it was really cool to be able to see. You could actually see the chain vibrating up and down, and then whenever I would shift, the chain would flap. I thought that was pretty cool. But if you liked that video, give it a like, and I'll definitely make it just something high on my list of things to do, and get more camera angles on my bike. I don't know how many more anything on the frame itself. I would have to have a dampening system or whatever, which is just pretty much like a rubber washer or something, so that as the motorcycle vibrates, because a two-stroke vibrates a lot. They are notorious. They're a lot more. They're lighter, but they vibrate a whole lot more than a four-stroke does. So, and that one video that I made, and I called it the psychedelic bike ride or something like that. That was, I had a camera mount in this bolt right here, where this normally held a headlight, or not headlight, good grief, a mirror. because this used to be a street legal motorcycle. And where this is hard connected to the frame, it vibrated so much. But the swing arm, even though it is kind of a static connection, which means this moves freely from the frame right there, it pivots, so the vibrations don't really come back to the swing arm as much. It was still vibrating in some parts, so I'll have to find out some sort of dampening system to keep the vibrations down, or maybe I can try for like a chest mount. I really want to get a GoPro, but whenever you don't have any money, GoPros are just not in the realm of I'm going to purchase that. So as much as I want one, I cannot even come close to affording one. But hopefully sometime in the near future, I will have a GoPro. Right as they have like a GoPro 8 Hero 75 Gold Edition, then I'll be getting like a Hero 3 or 4 Poor Edition, and that'll be that. They'll have like 7K, and I'll be shooting in like 720, and you know, I'll always be behind. But it's just something that I've always wanted to do. I've wanted a motorcycle since I was like 5 or 6. I was always infatuated with like supercross and motocross and just dirt bike racing or riding in general. I'd always wanted one, and I didn't get the opportunity to purchase one until just a few years ago. I bought a mini bike, which that's in my channel. Yeah, I mobbed it around. It was a death trap, but it was my death trap, and I loved it. And then I got rid of that. I traded it for a boat also. And after that, I started working as a logger, making decent money, and my first paycheck, I bought a TTR 125. That's also in my channel. I didn't have it for very long before I traded it for a CR 85. I think it's in 1 or 2 videos. I don't have a riding video of it because I only rode the piece of junk once before it crapped the bed, and I absolutely hated that bike. It looked nice, but I hated it. It was just awful. The bottom end on it was complete junk, and it was like a 2003. And the guy said he had rebuilt the top on it, and he must have just not, he probably didn't heat cycle it like you're supposed to. Whenever I got this bike, I actually traded that CR85 off for this bike here, and I know that this bike is so much better than that Honda, but you know, my buddy bought we traded, and he knew what was wrong with the 85, so I didn't like shaft him or nothing like that. He knew what was wrong with it. But he was a Honda person, and I guess he still is. I don't really know how or why, but he's a Honda person, so he liked it, and he said, well, I've got this bike, it's a KDX, and I don't ride it. It's something, for some reason I can't get it to run. It's got a brand new top end on it. And I said, well, do you want to trade? And he said, well, let me think about it. And about 2 weeks later, I hit him up and said, hey, man, you been thinking about it a whole lot or any at all? And he said, yeah, I'll bring you the dirt bike tomorrow morning at about 10 o'clock. Tomorrow morning, about 10 o'clock rolls around. He pulls up, and this was in it was kind of in pieces. It didn't have a rear fender. The plastics and the gas tank and the number plate and all that stuff was off of it. But he promised me that there was a whole bike in the back of his truck. And, you know, he's a good buddy of mine, so I trusted him. And within 2 or 3 hours, I had the whole bike except for the exhaust pipe. He told me that he couldn't find it, but he was going to look for it. And a few days later, he brought me the stock exhaust, which is over here. On this little four-wheeler. Here's the stock exhaust that was on it, and it's much heavier. This thing probably weighs 4 or 5 pounds, maybe even more. And he gave me this Pro Circuit pipe that is currently on my bike right now. The Pro Circuit Platinum. But this is for like an 89 model, and this is a 96. So the mounting brackets were a little different, and there was like 1 or 2 added on that I didn't need. One was right up here in the front. You can move these weeds. You can see where it was right there, and right back in there. You can see where the mounting spots were. And there was one more somewhere in the swell of it. I just cut those off. And the one mounting point was right here, and the stock one is right here. So I just made this little bracket that reaches out, and that is not coming loose unless one of these bolts comes out. And that's, I mean, pretty much, it's always had this FMF on it. It come with it whenever I got it. It was a turbine core. It stuck out to about right here. This piece did. The whole thing come out to about right here. Very unpleasing to the eyes. I didn't like how far it stuck out. So I drilled the rivets out, pulled this off, cut 4 inches of the exhaust off, took the turbine part out, crammed the baffle back into it, wrapped it up with fiberglass or something like that, like almost basically like a cherry bomb exhaust. I just packed it. It's a straight pipe out to this little bend right there, just like a regular FMF. It comes out and then bends this way a little bit. So I took 4 inches off and cut the turbine part out of the exhaust, which it's around the house at the basement door. But the main point of this video was just kind of to explain how that happened and works. Very simple. Just a vise and some more persuasive hammers. And that's what happened. I don't know. Y'all can give some ideas if you want. I really don't know however many more camera mounts there could be that some people, and it don't really have to be something that somebody hasn't done before. I like to be kind of original though, so I like to come up with ideas that people haven't done or not many people have done. I hope to do some winter riding. I might go to my buddy's house and have him record me playing in some snow, which he's in a video, the one where I think it's called Snow Goons or something like that. We flipped and jumped into some snow berms. But yeah, I hope to do some more riding videos. I know one of my brother's buddies likes motorcycles and stuff, and he told him, he said, yeah, my brother, he's got a YouTube channel. And he was like, what? He said, yeah, and he does motorcycle videos. What? So, you know, he shouted my channel out, so I gotta thank him. Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate it, and whoever is his buddy that likes motorcycle videos, I hope that I can get more out soon for you, little buddy. And I mean, I guess that's just the whole point of YouTube, is doing it for the subscribers and giving people entertainment whenever they have nothing to do or whatever. So here I'm hoping to do some more riding videos, some more just dirt bike related videos instead of like DIY stuff, which I'm still going to be doing a lot of that. But my channel, I originally wanted my channel to be more dirt bike than anything. But with gas, this thing, it's a 3.1 or 2.9 or something like that gallon tank. It's a weird number. I never have this thing completely full of gas. Right now, it's probably got half a gallon, if that, in it. I don't fill it completely up because that little dark spot right there is gas. And I don't know where it's leaking at, but there's gas under here. I don't think it's coming from my pilot, my carb jet bolt, but it might be coming from this little gasket right here. It might be smashed. I don't know. I really need to get a carb rebuild kit. They're only like $30, but and I need to get some engine cleaner too, degreaser, and just clean this bike up. But I hope to be able to paint this thing again soon. I hate this paint flaking off on me. My tank looks awful because, well, it looks awful because it is awful. Gasoline and spray paint don't mix, and I need to get some primer. I think this paint here was primer paint all together. You want to go for a ride? Go for a ride, Chester? Go for a ride. I give you full range. Go. Have fun. Anyway, the tank is supposed to have paint primer mixed, but gasoline ate the paint. Wind and debris and bugs and stuff is scratching up this paint. So I need to go ahead and just paint the whole bike. I'm debating on painting the swing arm. And I might just touch up this because I like my little 4-leaf clover that I made and my reflective number. I like those. I'm probably going to paint the front suspension bits and bobs. I don't know whether I want to go orange or paint them black. I want to paint my rims and my hubs, but the hubs are going to be a little hard to paint. And the rims will be too. But I just want to touch this thing up. There's paint spots on the frame everywhere that's acting and starting to flake and peel and pop, but the bottom of it's actually not completely painted. It's still a little bit green on the bottom because it's a Kawasaki. The frame used to be bright green. I think in my beginning videos you see that it's green, but the reason why the bottom of the frame is still green is because I tried to get the motor out. I completely took this bike down to frame. Airbox, exhaust, everything was off of it except this bolt right here. I could not get out. I guess the aluminum right there, the part that it goes through the motor, had corroded and like anodized or whatever they call it. And like, because it's a steel bolt and an I think aluminum or iron block or something like that of the motor. So it has like basically corroded to the bolt, and I couldn't knock it out, and I was afraid of busting my case, so I just left it and painted around it. I plan on taking the this cover off and this and just repainting all of the little spots and touching it up, but it's going to take a while. I think I might paint this next time, paint it black or something. But that's going to be it. I just pretty much wanted to explain how that video, the last video, was made. And then it just turned into all of this explanations of my bike. But if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Thumb up this video. I appreciate it. It helps out. And I guess I will see y'all in the next video.